What does standing in your power actually mean? If you've heard this buzzword of like, don't give your power away, that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about right now. And it is very much a true thing, but I want to help you like understand and visualize what it is so that you can stop giving your power away. Sounding so cliche, but it is what it is. But this is a very important lesson. So I want to share it with you because it's going to change how you interact with people, not just in business, but in life as well. And it's just going to create a very beautiful life for you. So let me share that with you. If you're new here, my name is Anna Pautassi. I am the owner of Dreaming Big Lifestyle. I am a business coach and I help entrepreneurs and small business owners grow their businesses to have more time, freedom, and financial stability through business, marketing, and mindset strategies. So the mix of all three to really create a beautiful foundation that helps them build a business to support their lifestyle. So let's dive in. There's a difference between standing in your power and giving it away. Giving it away looks like being on the defensive. And for a long time, I was on the defensive where I felt like every conversation I had to defend my ideas, my words, my actions, and beliefs. Was that truly the case? Looking back on it, absolutely not. Like no one was like, Anna, you're dumb. What you're saying is not true, doesn't make sense. But that's how I felt. I felt like I constantly had to be like guard up, ready for a fight. I was on the defensive. That's what giving your power away can look like. It can also look like responding to external circumstances without thought, meaning that you're like starting your day and you're like, let's see what life throws at me today. I'm like having flashbacks being like, why was I so like out of it in the sense that I was like giving so much of my power away, like just letting everything else around me control me. Okay, that's what's happening. So if you see my face do weird things, it's me reliving these things. And let me tell you, like learning what it was to actually own my power and stand in my power changed everything. Like it's just like I probably wouldn't have my business now if I hadn't learned this stuff. But like I said, aside from being on the defensive, it can look like responding to external circumstances without really any thought. You're just like instantly deciding what is happening is extremely right or factual and letting that control your day, thoughts, and beliefs. That's what that looks like. Okay, so it's like something happens or someone says something and you're like, you're right. But deep down, you're like, I don't agree with that. Like, that actually goes against everything that I believe in. But I'm just going to agree with you because I'm going to give you that power. Another one is like letting people push your buttons, allowing others' actions and attitudes to control your emotions. Okay. For me, this looked like having so many conversations in my head where they were like fights with other people, like fights with like my boss in my head or my managers in my head or like a client. Most of these happened when I was in my 9 to 5 job. I learned how to take my power back. But a lot of this was happening in the 9 to 5 world where I was like, wow, people really push my buttons. But ultimately, what I've ended up realizing is that everyone is the main character in their own story. So it's like that whole thing of like, you don't know what other people are going through. And the way that I say it is like they're the main character in their own story. Ultimately, the only two things you have control over are your actions and your attitude. Okay, so like how you're going to act and your attitude towards it. Those are the only things you really have control over it. So when you let someone else's actions and attitude affect you, which obviously can happen, like people out there like thrive on putting other people down or making them feel vulnerable or making them feel less than. It happens. Like these people are in the world. Like we do interact with them. But it's about being able to be like, that's you. That says way more about you than it does about me. Their story, their main character. I'm just a bystander that just happens to be getting the end of whatever has been going on in the background of your life. So standing in your power looks like knowing exactly who you are. You're very self-aware. You have a lot of self-worth. You understand the values that you bring. You have a clear understanding of your identity, your beliefs. Things can change. If you're in Canada, you know what the drink Caesars are, which are like Bloody Marys for those in North America. I hated them. And now I actually like them. Like things can change, right? Like that is a very small example, but things can change. But the point is like deciding that for yourself versus letting someone else or external circumstances decide that for you. Because you're self aware and you have a clear understanding of yourself, right? You know your values, you recognize your worth, and don't let external validation be your driver. This is very key, especially for business owners, okay? Sales sometimes can feel like the external validation that we're constantly chasing after. Ultimately, you started your business for a reason, and yes, do we all need money? Absolutely, we all need money, but you're trying to get that money by doing something that you're passionate about. So don't forget about that, right? It's like you recognize your worth and you don't let the external validation be your driver. You don't let like that lack of sale decide that it means that what you have to offer isn't worthy or that you should give up on your business, right? We're not doing that because we're standing in our power and we know what we brought to the table is amazing and people are going to love it and the right people are going to have access to it and they're going to think that it's the best thing that's ever happened to them because it is. Standing in your power can also look like interacting without being affected by the outside circumstances. You understand that you have control over your actions and your attitude, and no one or anything can dictate that for you. This is something we cultivate both in life and in business. And in business, that can look like saying yes to things that don't feel good because you think that is what's expected of you, or you are worried saying no means less money coming in, right? That's like giving your power away by looking for the external validation, giving your power away by not understanding the self-worth that you're bringing in or like your beliefs and your values. Can also look like letting clients push your boundaries by calling you whenever they want and asking for more deliverables that go beyond your agreed contract if you're in the service world, right? So it's like you're letting someone else really push your buttons there. The truth is, the more you keep your power, the more your business and your life is actually going to grow because you end up showing up differently, you feel differently, and your clients actually pick up on that. Like they understand that, they feel that energy switch of you being like excited and in a good mood and like really promoting these things because you understand the value and like what you bring to it, right? So standing in your power is going to create more abundance and opportunity for you. Don't underestimate that. So if you're feeling like you need to work a little bit on taking back some of that power, now that you've learned kind of what the differences are of this buzzword or term, this is what I would work on. I would work on setting boundaries both in your life, like with people in your life, and with work-related things, whether you're 9 to 5 or in business. Set boundaries. Are you working certain hours? Are you answering calls every day? Are you letting your family, if you work from home, like barge in and out and like expect you to, because you're working from home, like have the house completely clean? You know, like what are these boundaries that you're setting in place? The other thing is to cultivate self-awareness and self-worth. Like work on that self-worth. Know what you bring to the table. You are very valuable. And self-awareness is very important. Like understanding that you're like, oh, this is a trigger for me, or like, oh, I don't like this. I need to remember this, because the self-awareness allows you to say, I don't like this. Why don't I like this? What am I going to do differently? And then actually take action on that, right? So it's like ordering a salad, getting it, and then you have the tomato and you're like, I hate tomato and salad. You're like, next time I order a salad, I'm not going to get tomato. I'm going to ask for tomatoes out. And then you go to a restaurant, you order a salad and you ask for no tomatoes, right? Like that's how things change through self-awareness. The other thing you should start doing is having a morning routine that allows you to practice mindfulness. So this is really like a moment in the morning to set your intention for the day. So like deciding that it's going to be a good day, whatever that looks like for you. And really giving yourself the time for your mind to kind of turn back on, which a lot of the times, like meditation is great, but if you're not into that, just like sitting without your phone near you, drinking your coffee, staring out the window or on your balcony or in your backyard, whatever that looks like, and just letting your mind kind of like slowly reboot from your sleep, that is a great morning routine. And lastly, start giving yourself the validation you seek externally. So if you're like, if I go and buy this cup of coffee, I'm going to feel so happy. Well, why can't you feel happy right now? Feel happy right now and then go get the coffee. So then the coffee doesn't become the validation. Okay, here's to you, standing in your power. And if you need any help with self-worth or any of that good stuff, I have a course called The Good Vibes that has a whole bunch of workshops in there, and one of them is on self-worth. Another's a manifestation, money mindset, time management, a whole bunch of good stuff in there that are really going to help you just take more control and co-create your life and stand more in your power. I'll leave the link in the description for you.